Hi, Christopher Phillips here from fullycatholic.com. A little disclaimer. Today is December the 31st and it is just about 20 minutes after 10 here in Trinidad. So the disclaimer is that if you hear loud sounds in the background, it is our neighbors and those around us beginning the celebration of the New Year. So it is not that we are in Siberia or anything like that. So that's a quick disclaimer. Today we would like to look at John chapter 6, at least part of John chapter 6. You may recall that in John chapter 6, Jesus had just fed the multitudes and then he started this discourse. Now we will pick it up from verse 52 when, actually just before that, verse 51, where Jesus said, I myself am the living bread come down from heaven. If anyone eats this bread, he shall live forever, and the bread that I will give is my flesh for the life of the world. And it continues. At this the Jews quarreled among themselves, saying, how can he give us his flesh to eat? And Jesus, knowing what they were talking about, he continued even further, and he said, I tell you solemnly, if you do not eat the flesh of the Son of Man and drink his blood, you have no life in you. He who feeds on my flesh and drinks of my blood has eternal life, and I will raise him up on the last day. For my flesh is real food and my blood is real drink. And he continues. And what happens as a result of this discourse is that as a result of this, many of his disciples left him and no longer walked with him. And then Jesus turned to Simon Peter and said, so Simon, what about you? Are you too going to leave? And Simon Peter says, Lord, to whom shall we go? You have the words of eternal life. Now, why am I looking at this on Old Year's night? It is because many of us, especially, first of all, the Catholic Church is the only Christian faith, I may be wrong on that believes that Jesus is present, body, blood, soul, and divinity in the Holy Eucharist. The Catholic Church believes and teaches that at the Eucharist we are not just receiving a host, we are not just receiving a piece of bread, we are not just receiving a wafer, we are actually receiving the body and blood, soul and divinity of Jesus, who gives himself freely to us. Now, why does Jesus give himself to us? It is because of the love that God has for us. God so wants for us to be one with him that he gives himself to us. God so wants for us to be one with him that he freely sent his Son to be one with us. And we know this, we all know this saying that we become what we eat. So God's desire is for us to become more like his Son. And if we read through that whole discourse in John chapter 6, we would see some little bits and clues that we will talk about in future videos about God's desire and why the Eucharist is implemented. So that being said, this Old Year's night, this New Year's Eve, we would have already spoken about making New Year resolutions and stuff. Maybe the challenge here for you is, who am I in this story? Am I Peter, who says, Lord, I may not fully understand this teaching, but Lord, where am I going? Or are we the disciples, the other disciples who said, Lord, what madness is this? How can I eat your flesh and drink your blood? Lord, you're not serious. And they turned and walked away. We can either be one or the two. And maybe our New Year resolution this year should be a sincere prayer. Lord, I want to believe. please help my unbelief. God bless you, and again, a Happy New Year to you.